Welcome to the Nightly Rant
with
your hosts, Mike
and Torya.
This is the show where we examine society from a sarcastic point of view.
If you like insane conversations, this is definitely the show for you.
Let's get into today's topic. YPN people, I don't know about you, but I love helping out a friend. That's why I want to shout out my friend Brian Little and his podcast, Your Favorite Blockhead. This is the only show that manages to weave together peanuts and MMA into one heck of an amazing podcast. You can find Your Favorite Blockhead wherever your favorite podcasts reside and at yourfavoriteblockhead.com. Do me a huge favor and listen to Brian's show. You'll be entertained and you'll help out a friend. Now, as I said, let's get into today's topic.
So it's quieter around here.
Significantly so.
But it was nice having the kids here.
Yeah, we were invaded by multiple offspring for the weekend.
Yeah, it was a good time. They remind me of how funny they are when they're here.
They are pretty funny, but looks aren't everything.
I find it interesting how well they connect.
Yeah, they're like best friends.
It's really nice to see, actually.
Mm-hmm.
I really like it. I think everybody with the first two, everybody told us it was normal. I don't think it's
that
normal.
They hate each other?
Yeah, but I don't think it's totally normal.
It's pretty normal if you look at siblings.
I think it can be done better. That's all. That's just my opinion.
Alrighty.
So, talking about things that hopefully didn't stay the same, while they were here, we decided, well, first of all, we always talk about how Mitchell likes to eat. And
right.
He always picks food places. And
always picks the food.
He's learned now to just casually mention places.
Right.
And then we'll find out where it is and take him there.
So he took us to a place called Truffles and Bacon in Henderson.
And the last time he wanted to go there, but it wasn't open when he was here. So
they're closed on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, like psychopaths.
Yeah, so we made sure to take him this time. And while we were there, I had originally had the thought of going to Boulder City. And I know like my daughter would love to see the sheep. So
in case you people don't know, Boulder City is noted everywhere for having a park filled with bighorn sheep.
Yes, and even have what they call ram cam.
That never works.
And it never works, but they have it. And I have seen videos of people showing it where it worked, but it never works for me or anyone I know. So,
if you guys want to see the Boulder City sheep, it's the Boulder City ram cam.
Yeah, it's really so we go there. We decide, you know what? It's only like 20 minutes away from here. Let's go there. Mm-hmm. And so we go. And as soon as we get there, I'm like you had said this too later. I saw how many people were there in the parking lot and walking around. I was like, there has to be sheep here. And then Mitchell starts going, oh, look up on the hills. And I see in the playground area, they're walking away from the playground area, which was weird. They were where the kids were before. They just walked away from there and went out into the grass.
I think there was probably no kids there, and then they were walking away because the kids arrived.
Yeah. It was interesting though. They were
mangy,
strange looking creatures, but beautiful at the same time.
They weren't doing anything particularly exciting. They were just grazing. Until like two of the little females decided that they were going to ram each other a little bit.
Yeah.
Their headbutts and all that stuff.
They only did that for a little bit.
Like 30 seconds. But the guy who was there kept telling you about how in the afternoon the males get all ornery and decide that they're going to headbutt each other and fight and play and jump and kick and butt. And
when I had just read that up the hill where there was a sign about the bighorn sheep. Mm-hmm. And I just read how the males like to collide with one another, horns to horns, and it echoes so loud especially throughout that park, because there was that ridge on the side that just went straight up.
Mhm.
And the other side was like a valley. And then in front of us was a lake. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it probably would have sounded like a hand clap, you know, a crack, crack.
Or like hitting your funny bone on a wall.
Yeah. 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 That's a good way to put it. But it was interesting because I could have taken a chair and sat down and watched them for a long time. It was, like she says, they weren't the most exciting creatures.
But they were just very peaceful.
But yeah, it was very peaceful to watch. And they did just enough to like keep you interested. Just enough.
So then you were walking around and the kids were walking around taking pictures of the sheep, and Alyssa was trying to see if she can make her app identify their genus and whatever. And I'm standing there.
Once a scientist, always a scientist.
And first I noticed this dude because he's wearing like the whitest shirt I've ever seen in my life. Like it was so bright white. And I'm like, that's kind of weird. Like usually people don't go to a park full of sheep in their whitest shirt. Anyway.
Yeah.
Then I see that there's this lady who's like dressed real casual, like running away from him. I'm like, oh no. Did creepy dude in the white shirt try to kidnap this lady?
Oh no.
That was my first
Was that your first thought, really?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Keep in mind, I'm the only one of the four of us who witnessed the whole thing.
Well, yeah. I picked up right about here.
Then I hear like yelling happening.
Yeah, that's when I
them.
picked up.
And I was like, I gotta get closer. I gotta hear what's going on here. But I didn't want to get too close because like I don't want to be kidnapped victim number 2.
Correct.
Anyway, so what happened? And I have to tell you the race of this woman because it's very significant. Okay.
Yo, well, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So the lady who was dressed very casually was Asian with an accent. She was very Asian. And as she walked past man in the super white shirt, she coughed and then kept walking. You know, like some dust got under my tonsil cough.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so he decided to scream at her at the top of his lungs, that she has COVID and she needs to leave.
And he kept telling her that he was trying to protect the sheep, that she was going to give the sheep COVID.
And she's like, Alyssa got it on recorded some of the audio on her video that she was taking of the sheep. And he was like insistent that she was going to give the sheep COVID and that she had to leave and that she had COVID.
But,
and I was like,
but to the lady's favor, she pushed back.
She just told him he was crazy and then just kept walking away from him.
Well, but a lot of people wouldn't even have done that much.
Right.
I'm not sure I would have.
Probably not.
I might have made one like really savage, sassy, mean comment. Just one.
Right.
And then whatever happened after that happened. I'm not going any further than that. I made my say in one thing. Why waste my time going back and forth with somebody? You know what? You're a giant loser. You smell like dead fish and you have no brain. There, I just insulted somebody. No.
Right.
Who that is, who knows? But
now, the real reason this lady probably coughed is because he was driving this like piece of trash,
yeah.
ancient, modified, funky ass pickup truck thing that emitted like billowing clouds of diesel stink. We were like 50 feet away and it was making me cough. Like, come on now. Anyway, so I decided this dude was a piece of shit. And I wanted to antagonize him, but I don't have the cojones to do it.
So, enter man with cojones. That's right. Some guy stepped in. No, I'm kidding. It was me, of course. I'm the one.
You and your purple hair.
And I was like, come on now. This is ridiculous. Like, why would you be so racist? So I'm going to prove you're a racist. So I walk over. I get within 5 feet of this guy and I go, and he goes, turns toward me. I turn towards him. We lock eyes. He just kind of shrugs, looks the other way. And I go, yeah, that's exactly what I thought.
You should have called him a racist.
Nah.
You should have. He deserved it. I don't think I've ever witnessed such a blatant and aggressive display of racism in my life. Because
Hence-
she was an Asian woman and she coughed while walking past him, he felt the need to insist she was going to give the sheep COVID.
She must. That's the thing.
Man.
Not even just the sheep, though. He claimed she had COVID.
Right.
Like, what's wrong with this guy? A lot of things.
Right.
But I don't know. I've learned as I've gotten older, like I said, don't go back and forth with these people. Just scorched earth. Boom. Okay. See ya. Next. Well, and it works. You don't stress out with these idiots who just have, come on. Like, recently I had a conversation online and it was just like the same comment back every time. And you're just like, dude, I've explained this to you 37 ways since Sunday and you just don't get it. So I'm done explaining it. And that's how people are. People are cray cray.
Yeah. People are cray cray. Especially this dude. Like, this dude was mega cray cray. Like I said, I don't think I've ever witnessed such a blatant display of racism in my life.
You know,
and it was uncomfortable. Like,
it's interesting though, because until you said it that way, I definitely was offended by what I saw a great deal.
Probably not.
But I didn't think of it. I didn't think of it as that specific reason. But now
There's
that
no other reason.
But now that you say it, I mean, he only reacted the way he did because of the race she was 100%.
Right.
So that makes him racist. And then because he now knows what race she is and he can't stand that, now he makes up things about her like that she has COVID and that she's going to, not only does she have COVID, but somehow she's going to give COVID to the sheep.
Like, this poor lady just wanted to come to the park and nicely eat her McDonald's and watch some fucking sheep graze on some fucking grass.
She's like, leave me alone, leave me alone. You can hear her on Alyssa's video. You can
and
hear
he,
her.
like, it started, he was at his truck and you saw how far he followed her.
Yeah.
Like, I was getting ready to step in and defend this lady.
Yeah, but if you do that ever, make sure you give me a heads up first.
Alyssa knew what was happening. Alyssa would have fetched you.
Because that's scary.
And I'm sure you would have heard the yelling match I had with him, so it would have been okay. I can't believe it, though. Like, he was being so offensive that me, who usually just yells insults from afar, if even that,
you were ready to
prepared.
get there. You were ready to go there. But I mean,
it was uncomfortable. He was following her. That was my problem.
My thing was I wanted to kind of get in his face without getting in his face.
Mm-hmm.
Because I didn't really want to like give him any kind of reason to call the police and, you know, have the police come out. I'm not going to push the boundary, right? I'm just going to go and say, yo, dude, I'm not even. And in fact, what I did, I didn't even talk to him. I talked to you. Just made it loud enough so he could hear.
Right.
And he most definitely heard.
Oh, just like he probably heard me loudly reply to you that he was a racist.
Yeah, I'm sure. So that was the thing. And so now that the week, you know, that was our thing. And, you know, now that the weekend's over and the kids are gone, we have an interesting situation. See, when they first came, Yogi and Bree were like, woo, woo, yeah, they're here, yay. And Douglas is like, it's time for these guys to go home. They've been here for 5 minutes. That's too long. Tell them to go home. It's interesting how he reacts sometimes when people come.
Yeah, he doesn't like it when people hang out too long.
Yeah, and then
because he can't sit in his spot.
Yeah, and that's the only reason. And you know what it is? It's if two people come. He doesn't mind if one person comes.
As long as they don't touch him.
Yeah. Unless he asks for it.
Right.
And that's funny. It's all under his
Douglas sets the rules.
His rules. Thank you. His rules. And if it's not his rules, he don't want to play that way.
Pretty much.
And I mean, in some ways I can respect that, but you know, it's still kind of, I don't know, rude to expect everything to be your way or the highway.
Right.
Like, what's wrong with you?
Right. But I mean, he was abused for so long, and now he realizes he can have things his way. He's taking advantage of it. You know, like, it makes him happy that he can sit on the couch by himself and lay there and not have someone bother him.
I'm glad I didn't speak until you said that. I'm glad I waited. Lesson learned.
Well, yeah. Anyway, he's just happy that he gets to make some decisions about his own life.
Yeah, he doesn't like being controlled anymore. And that's my
shouldn't
opinion.
relate to that at all.
And that's opinion. Well, yeah, in my opinion, he shouldn't want to be controlled. Like, that's a bad thing. So I'm with him there. But sometimes he gets a little bit grumpy, and he was pretty grumpy by the time they left.
Yeah.
And then they leave, right? And now Jasper, Yogi, and Bree are all down and disappointed. And even Miss Olive has been asleep on the edge of the bed all day.
Douglas
all forlorn. And Douglas is like in the best mood of his life.
Yeah.
And it's just like they've reversed roles because, now Douglas got his house back the way he likes it. And Yogi, Bree, and Parker, I'm not Parker. Well, I'm Parker too, but he's kind of not as sad. And Jasper, they're like just down in the dumps now because the kids left.
Right.
Went back to California.
They'll get over it. Mitchell spent a lot of time playing with Jasper this time around. That's why he's so down.
Well, yeah, but you know what? That was nice.
Yeah.
I thought that was really nice because Jasper misses him a lot. You can tell when he comes. People who say that the animals don't remember,
they remember.
They're crazy. I'm also going to tell you that people who say that animals don't watch television are also crazy.
Bree watches TV.
For 100%.
Yeah.
She barks at dogs that don't make any sound.
Right.
They open the door and suddenly there's a dog's face there. And she's like, she starts, doing all this noise.
It starts with the low warble.
Exactly.
And then here comes the Cyrus bark.
Craziest thing. And she'll sometimes will watch lately we've been watching Blue Bloods. And I'll catch her.
The police do the things.
Yeah, I'll catch her when they're chasing like a suspect. And I'll look over and she's looking at the TV and I'm like, holy hell, she's watching the TV. She likes the chase scene.
Yeah. Do you ever wonder what's going through her head? Like, is she jealous that they're running down an alleyway? Like, does she want to chase them?
I know, right? Like I have had that thought before. Like what is she actually thinking in her head at the moment? I have had that thought. But I mean, it's really cute. The whole thing is really cute to be quite honest.
Yeah.
But she's super cute. And I like how she's like so vigorous with everything that she does. What I don't like.
The Cyrus?
Yes. What I don't like is that she needs to rein it in sometimes. That one. Where'd she go?
She's not in here. We didn't let her in.
Why not?
Because she's been so yodely today.
She works in here. Well, you're right about that. But that's my point. It's been a really weird weekend because, starting Friday, we had them flipped one way and now today they're flipped the other way.
Yeah.
Those kids sure have an impact on the animals.
Yep.
And what's funny? I just thought about this. By having both of them here, there were so many more hands to pay attention to them that they got even more attention than they normally do. And I think we do a good job of giving them a lot of attention, actually.
Right.
I really do.
Right.
So anyway, that's it. The kids are gone. We're heading into the holidays here in, sunny Las Vegas, which is getting chilly all by our lonesome.
Yep.
So if anyone's here in Vegas and they're listening and they're wanting to know what to do for Christmas, send us a message. info@yogispodcastnetwork.com and we will connect you with resources, places that people meet.
And on that note, good night, everyone.
Hasta la bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to the Nightly Rant.
If you enjoyed the show, please give us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts or Google Play.
If you didn't enjoy the show, please just ignore that previous request for a rating.
This has been a Yogi's Podcast Network production.